Hello everybody, my name is X Factor. Welcome back to some Battlefield 4 gameplay. How about some old school commentary in the LAV with the TOW missiles? And we're going to connect to quite a few different targets. This round we're actually going to work on basically taking care of our gimme flags. One of the most important things that you can do as an armor player, and making a couple timely pushes and rotations. Why is it important to take care of your gimme flags, and what are your gimme flags? Well, first off, your gimme flags are the flags closest to your deployment. Could be 1, 2, or 3 of them. Why are they important? Because engineers are so dangerous in Battlefield 4. A couple of very smart and good players with RPGs, straws, and smalls can absolutely destroy an LAV or tank. A lot of engineers, depending on what position they have on a map, can solo a tank or LAV, depending if they can get a first shot off unnoticed from the side doing 35 damage, or the rear with a death shot, 55 to 57 damage. So it's always something to be careful of. You always want your back to a wall with an LAV. It control the transport and the little birds because they can simply drop people off on a map like this. So whenever we'd see the transport motoring along with a couple people in it, usually we would follow. And we'd basically rotate from flag to flag because this is what we're trying to stop. The best offense is a great defense. I know you've heard it a million times in sports. Well, it actually caters to Battlefield 4 because not a lot of people play defense. They let the flag flash, and then no one spawns on it. And that usually means your team loses it. And if your LAV's playing back there in the middle, it's probably going to get bombed by engineers. Not to mention, if that flag spawns a helicopter, attack, little bird, or an LAV or tank. A lot of conquest maps in Battlefield 4 spawn tons of vehicles, including Gulf of Oman. The beach has several spawn points, and of course the G flag has 2, both an LAV and a tank. So you gotta be very, very careful what flags you're guarding and put priority on the correct flags. But remember, at the end of the day, if your gimmies are gone, the flags closest to your deployment, and you are the LAV or tanker, go get those back first, because the last thing you want to do is drive past it and just get wrecked from behind in 1 or 2 shots, and then you have a cooldown, or again, or the next person, that piece of armor isn't on the gameplay dictating the flow of the map. Remember, whenever you have an LAV or a tank, more than likely, you're one of the fastest ways to get from point A to point B. So you can contest flags, you can burn flags, and you can stop pushes. And that's kind of the way we played this round. We didn't have to play overly aggressive because we had a heck of a team just capping flags. So I decided, hey, let's protect what we should have from these little packs of 2 and 3 engineers, which can be very, very just difficult. And here we get lucky, and Flash, who was repairing me, working with me in comms, eats the skis on the jet ski. So that's the other thing. Whenever you have a gunner, be very careful of where you tell them to repair if you're working with them in comms. Make sure you get to a spot of safety. Always have a backup plan, a secondary plan if you engage armor. Is it turning a corner? Is it getting around a corner and then backing up? Usually the worst thing you could do is panic back up when you're in a piece of armor, whether you're engaged with the armor or air. With air, it's absolutely the worst thing, because if you back directly up, you're giving that attack chopper or jet more time to pull off their strafe. If you pull into them, it increases their angle, and a lot of times they simply have to bail out of that angle. So to mitigate air damage, as I connect with that chopper across the map, pull in. With armor, remember where your cover's at. Play close to cover, and never stop moving. If you're in the open, rock back and forth. Try to deke them out of their TOW or some of their Zuni rockets, the things that really, really hurt in the armor versus armor fights. Another tip for you guys that I've said a million times is when you go to repair, sometimes it takes double repairs or you don't have a repair person. Whatever way you point your gun, and you're moving 5 miles an hour or less, give or take a couple miles an hour, that's the side is going to pop you out on the LAV. You never want to pop out on the hot side. So right now, if I want to get out repair, I don't want to pop out while facing the Deathmobile or the engineers that popped out as a result. I'm probably going to eat a LAW small RPG in the face or some small arms fire. And there we connect as we bang somebody out of the transport chopper, the thing that can turn a map on its head the most. So a couple guys got through. Just get on the burn. That's something we talk about a lot with the attack boats the other day. A lot of times you see your armor 10, 15, 30 meters away from the burn. They're killing guys left and right. but they don't even make it go neutral. What's that mean? Those guys are probably getting really angry. They're going to spawn back as engineers, and you just kicked an angry hornet's nest. Now you've got a bunch of engineers to deal with. You might get a couple kills, but more than likely you're going to get disabled and you're going to get killed. You're going to lose the LAV tank or whatever piece of armor you have for another minute and a half. Meanwhile, you didn't even flash their flag neutral. So this is one of those moments where I had a moment to kind of push up. Again, the team was playing very aggressive, and I fed off of that. Somebody had to be the gatekeeper in the back. And as you can see, we've got some pests in the backfield. So there's a couple times that we rotated up, we contested flags, we capped flags, and then we'd see our gimme flags blink. And again, the worst thing that can happen is your entire team pushes up all at once. You cap out their 2 gimme flags, then all of a sudden flags behind you start flashing. You're up 200-300 tickets in a high ticket server. Then all of a sudden you lose your entire ass. And you lose everything but their gimme flag or 2 of their gimme flags. Then what happens next? All those LAVs and tanks and attack choppers that you've kept down and your team's kept at bay spawns back and just blows you off the flag. Congrats, you've been all capped. Now, you're more than likely out of LAV tanks, hover tanks, and choppers, and you've got to start all over again. I cannot tell you how important it is to spawn on a flashing flag, specifically as an engineer when playing Conquest. No matter what the target, hard or soft, you've got a solution to deal with it. And more than likely, you're not limiting your team when you spawn in as well. So that's something I do probably the most of. I probably spawn in on flashing flags in the spawn screen probably 70 to 80% of the time. Obviously, if I'm alive, I'm going to make a push with my team. But if 1 or 2 flags are flashing in the back, I'm always going to spawn back for the most part. Because that's a challenge as well. You know there's at least one. There might be 2, 3, 4, or 5 guys. If you can knock them out, that's 5 guys that aren't pushing another flag or defending a flag that your team is pushing. It's basically a big game of chess, and you are one of the pieces. So here we are trying to track down one of these transport choppers, and as you can see, it's not going very well, but that's something that we'd want to rotate to. Secondary gunner, this is where your incendiary shot goes, right there every time. So here's a tip for secondary gunners. Equip incendiary. It's amazing, but please stop spamming it. A lot of times that I see people in the secondary gunner, they're just spamming it. They're throwing it out there every couple seconds when it pops up. It does have a very fast refresh rate, but it's not being used properly. Use it when you see a threat. Use it when you want to stop a push. Use it when you want to burn people in the back of a building if I'm on cooldown or if I'm out of primary ammo. There's lots of different ways to use it. So that tunnel of love that I was racking up kills just by spamming smoke, the secondary gunner probably would have gotten all of them, probably would have had a squad wipe, and that would have been that. Not to mention keeping them from pushing out with their laws, straws, and RPGs. It's a big-time deterrent. It hurts. It gives you a really bad boo-boo. And I've used it a few times on the channel, and we've killed 7, 8, 9 people in a split second. It's absolutely disgusting when used in the right situation. So even though it's at a quick cooldown, simply save it. Save it for that deterrent. Save it for that big clump of people. Or, if you're on a burn and you can't find somebody, lob it in a random area, see if you get a hit marker, see if you hear a vocal call out, just like you would lob a grenade. Hopefully you guys enjoy this LAV gameplay, talking about some of my thought processes, my pushes, and rotations. If you guys want some old school commentaries, don't forget to leave a comment and give this video a like. As always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.